Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Agrarian Skies. Today we're going to be finishing up a cobble generator. We're going to be working on completing a couple of quests, and I also want to talk to you about something that has truly upset me in the last couple of days, and that has been my understanding that people don't know much science. I decided to just look around for some cool science stories because I'm all about science, and I found one about a so-called genius 14-year-old who developed his own fusion reactor in his house. And that was quite simply false. Um, so yeah, we're going to talk about that today and maybe start moving in that direction during the casts. The first thing is, though, I believe you were here for this. The crucible has been set up. The torch underneath is slowly heating things. Don't ask me how the single torch is able to turn cobblestone into lava, but it is. Different heat sources produce lava faster, but every cobblestone block that you put in here produces 250 millibuckets of lava. Now, as you can see, we have 750 in there right now, which means I only need one more to make a full bucket. So what will happen is this will slowly begin to turn all of the cobblestone that I've put in there into lava. Now when it's finished, I can use the clay bucket once to pull the lava out and then put the lava here into what is going to be our cobblestone generator. Now when I do that, it'll start making cobblestone here, but it will also use up my clay bucket. It only works once with lava, but it works multiple times if you're using it for water, as you can see here. So while that's going on, let's go ahead and take a look at our quest book, because there's a couple of quests that we can do. The first one being a fishing trip, where basically all you have to do is just catch a raw fish. Now we've already had to make a fishing rod to complete a different quest, and I've made a nice large pool here, that way you can make sure that the bobber actually has space to go. So we'll just go ahead and do that. And the cool thing about that, about this, is all you have to do is wait for the bobber to go down, and then you right click again and you get yourself a fish. So we got that. We have it done. Then we simply select one of our reward bags. Let's go ahead and go with the first one. And ta-da! Now we have a cooked fish, which I'm going to go ahead and eat because I am doing the whole starving thing again. And we're going to go ahead and throw the other fish in here with a couple sticks. That way we get another cooked fish for some extra food. We also have plenty of baked potatoes here. Now, I just used a bunch of my bone meal on the potatoes that I have here and made a whole bunch of extras. So the potatoes will actually help keep us fed for a while too. I'm going to go and eat a couple of those just so I don't have to worry about hunger. But I'll save the rest for the time being. So yeah, that's one of the quests done. The Kill the Zombies is actually a different quest that's just shown up recently. So apparently if you kill 3 zombies, you get half a heart and 4 apples. So that's something new out of one of the updates that the mod pack has had. The next one that I'm going to want to do is Dust in the Wind, which requires us to get iron ore gravel. And the smelting quest, which takes quite a bit, but since we're going to have our cobblestone generator set up, will not actually be as difficult as you would think. So we have all 1,000 millibuckets, so we have one full bucket. You take the clay bucket out, and then we can just set it right here, and ta-da, cobblestone generator. Now, the reason this works is because there's an extra spot down here for the water to flow down into, and you have to be careful when you're doing that. Because if you don't, the water will come in here and turn the lava into obsidian, and then all of a sudden you are out of luck again. So what we have to do now is just sit here and collect cobblestone and turn it into gravel. And the cool thing with this is that now all of this gravel that we get can be sieved the same way as dirt is sieved to get stone, only now we will get components for making ores. So all you have to do is just continually right-click on this, or just hold the right mouse button down, and we'll get a whole bunch of stuff, and I'll show you the kind of things that we get. And we saw before how gravel can be turned into sand and sand can be turned into dust. Each one of those has a different set of items that can be sieved from them, and each one of them has something special that they can bring. Now we get broken ore chunks here. Now what you need is 4 of these in the crafting grid in a square, and you will actually get the ore gravel that we're looking for. While we're here, let's go ahead and take a look at our reward bag and see if we got anything good. The spiked pick. So, not tremendous, but, you know, that's okay, I guess. We need cactus to repair it, and cactus is actually something that I don't have right now, but something that we can get through sieving. So, I think we actually can get that through sieving sand, which makes sense because cactus are found in the desert, and the desert's full of sand. So, that'll be the next thing for us to do, is to continue to get ore gravel, or chunks there, so that we can turn that into ore gravel, and you'll see that. So we'll see if we can't do that real quick. And then these other ones here that are glowing are possible to do, but some of them, like these here, I need to be able to make a monster spawning pad, or a mob spawning pad first. So that might take a little bit of time and effort to get to, but we will get there eventually. That'll probably be the next installment. So this kid talking about the fusion reactor, let me go ahead and get on this real quick. It's come to my attention that a lot of people don't know the difference between fusion and fission, and I think it's the lack of education is one of the things that scares a lot of people about nuclear power. So let me just go ahead and say this right now. The kid did not make a nuclear fusion reactor. He made a nuclear fission reactor. Now he used heavy atoms like radioactive uranium to power his reactor. And what happens with those atoms is that they will break apart because they are unstable because of their size. And when they break apart into smaller atoms, the bonds that are broken release energy and heat. So what this kid actually did was get more or less a kit from a school that allowed him to make it himself instead of having them do it. Basically, he put it together. Now, he may have developed some of the parts for it, but moreover, they gave him all of the tools and all of the materials that he needed. It was just a matter of him putting it together, and he did it under supervision. But yeah, the thing that he built used heavy atoms and heavy isotopes as a fuel source. Fusion, which is what he was claiming to do, is something that hydrogen bombs use. Now, this is the combination of 2 atoms, usually hydrogen, heavy isotopes of it, like deuterium or tritium, which is basically hydrogen with extra neutrons in it. When these 2 atoms combine, they release a tremendous amount of heat and energy. There are not a whole lot of radioactive decays to worry about because it's only changing from hydrogen into helium. Neither of those are radioactive, so you don't have anything to worry about save for the amount of heat that's let off. But in order to perform a sustainable fusion reaction, you need temperatures of what I've been able to find online as over 1 million degrees Celsius, which I can assure you this kid was not able to acquire in his parents' garage. So that's the main difference. Fission breaks stuff apart, and that's what this kid did, and that's what most nuclear power plants of today do as well. Fusion reactions have not been a sustainable reaction since we first realized that we could do this, but this is what takes place in the sun. The sun is basically a giant ball of hydrogen, more or less, or mostly hydrogen, and it constantly goes through the reaction of breaking helium apart because of superheat and then recombining 2 hydrogen atoms together to form helium. And that's what makes the sun a sustainable reaction. That is not what happens in the fusion or the fission power plants of today, and that's what the child and the Dateline interviewer said was going on in his reactor. They claimed that it was the same reaction that was taking place in the sun. I just want everyone to know that is utterly and completely false. So now that I've went ahead and said that, let's go back to Minecraft for a few more minutes here. As you can see, 4 of these things together make iron ore gravel. Now, the iron ore gravel is only the first part. The next thing you do is make ore sand. Now to make ore sand, all you have to do is set this down and then hit it with a hammer the same way as you would with cobblestone. Now you get 4, but you can sometimes get 5 or 6 back as well, and that's why you go through this process. You can set that down, and as you can see, the last one is change it to ore dust. The same thing happens again. You can get 5 or 6 of those. Now I've only got 4, that's the most common of them, but rarely you can get higher drops, and that's what helps increase your overall amount of resources that you acquire. So put that in there, take out our fish snack because we're getting low on hunger again. But that's the basic process here. And you also notice that gravel has a small chance to give you a diamond, which I was actually able to acquire very quickly. It is like a 1% chance, I think. And I think if we hit U on here, we can actually take a look. Or not U, rather. Just clicking on it, that'll give it to us. In here, yeah. So drop chance is 1%. Drop chance is 1% for emerald as well. But you can see here, the sieve gives you all of these things as possibilities. So 25% chance for flint, 20% for iron, 14% for copper and tin, 13% chance for amber, which is from Thaumcraft. These Thaumcraft quicksilver drops also 13%. 9 for silver, 9 for nickel, 9 for gold, 10 for aluminum, and 11 for lead. A 13% chance for coal, which is very helpful because then you don't need to use your wood planks as a fuel source for furnaces. Apatite for forestry, which is a 6% drop, lapis, which is 5, and platinum, which is 3, and then our 2 gems as well. Sand gives other things, and so does dust. Sand is what gives us the cactus seeds, I believe. We'll find that in here. Or rather, I guess, uses is what we'll need to go under. And there we go. So this can produce limestone, and then all of these here are ore, or crushed ore, as opposed to the broken ore. These things are like what I found when I first hammered that. That turns into sand instead of gravel, or ore sand instead of ore gravel. We also have a small chance to get yellorium dust, which is very useful for the big reactors mod, which I've actually just learned how to do recently, and it's kind of cool that that's in here now, so I'll be able to make one of those later on. And cactus seeds right here, and then also exotic seeds that we can get jungle saplings in case you want to take a look at the forestry aspect of things going through tree breeding. The other thing is ancient spores, which is a very low drop chance, which allows you to make mycelium so that you can produce mushrooms. We can also get cocoa beans, and these cigar fruits are from the Natura mod, and it's simply just a way to make food and seeds, basically. It's just another way of getting food, and basically you can turn it into cactus juice is essentially what you can boil it down to. Also Certus quartz for applied energistics, which is something that I'll probably try to get into once I have a sustainable power source when we get there. The other thing that I want to talk about before I go, and I've been thinking about this a lot, I used to play Feed the Beast Ultimate, which had Gregtech in it, and I really, really, really liked Gregtech. But it doesn't get a whole lot of support because it kind of doesn't play well with Tinker's Construct. I don't know how much of that is due to the mod makers and how much of that is just due to the simple computer science behind it. But I was actually thinking of making my own mod pack to go through because I'd really like to go through a survival map and actually make a fusion reactor from scratch. I actually have one now, and I might post a video just showing what I've created so far. But it's honestly a really cool thing to look at, and it actually does create a true fusion reactor, and you have to get the required ingredients of, you know, hydrogen and deuterium or helium to make what is essentially a plasma-fied helium. And you throw that into a plasma generator from Gregtech, and it produces a ridiculous amount of energy, which is very, very scientifically correct, more or less, to how the actual fusion reaction would work in real life. Save for the fact that I think in most cases it's much easier to simply power a steam turbine by the energy that's being let off instead of actually trying to turn it straight into energy as the plasma generator would. But it is pretty close. So that's something to look into and something that I would really like to do. So if anyone else is interested in me doing that, I wrote down a list of the mods that I would want to include, and if you're aware of any of these or if there are other mods that you think might work out better or in place of them, let me know. But my mod pack would consist of Industrial Craft 2, which you need for Gregtech, the Gregtech mod, Nuclear Control and Advanced Solar Panels, also for Industrial Craft 2, Buildcraft, and then the Better Quarries mod, which basically allows you to make, better quarries, better buildings from the Buildcraft mod. Basically gives you like a second tier of everything. Advanced Energistics for the computer system and the automation system, which is just a fantastic mod set that I've learned quite a bit about. The newer one I'm a little bit shaky on with my information, but it would still be something kind of cool to relearn. Not enough items so that we have the ability to look at things over here as we do right now. It's very helpful for getting the recipes down. Thermal Expansion 3, I know that it uses redstone flux now, and I don't think it would be compatible with the Gregtech power supply, but that doesn't mean that we can't do it. Forestry and Extra Bees, because the Extra Bees mod is actually something that can give us a way to produce some of the more expensive materials from Gregtech instead of having to go out and mine them constantly. And then also some form of mini-map, probably either the voxel mini-map or I think there's Zan's mini-map out there too, which I actually prefer, which I think is actually the one that I'm using right now. And then also the modular power suits mod, possibly. I know there's some other ones out there, like the big reactors mod that's in this mod pack. There's also some other cool automation mod packs, but I don't know a whole lot about most of those. So if there's something that you would like to see in that, let me know. If there's something that, like a lesser known mod that has some really cool things in it, let me know, because I'd be all for learning about new ones. But as of right now, those would be the mods that I would want to include in the pack. And once I build one to make sure that it's stable, I'll probably start doing shows in that. And what I'd like to do is, like I said, like in a survival style game, not in creative, actually spend the time to start from scratch, build a very large factory style building, make it look really nice, actually kind of do like some let's build pieces and then some actual like science and learning about the mod packs pieces, and eventually build a fusion reactor. So if anyone's interested in that, I will actually upload a short video showing the map that I have right now from Feed the Beast Ultimate. That's actually has taken an insanely long time, but has quite a bit of automation to it and quite a bit of cool additions that I've done. So, but yeah, for now we've actually gone ahead and completed this quest as well. So we'll go ahead and do that. And we'll take a look at our good reward bag. And this is a malachite. So this is from the, I can't remember it. It starts with an L, but it's basically the butterflies part of forestry. So it might not be something that I get into, but at least we have it in case I do. So next time, we will have to look into either the I'm Smelting mod or look into making a mob spawner pad for this mod here. We actually get a Safari net for that, which is kind of cool, so I may end up looking into doing that. This one here has some pretty cool things, and it allows you to kind of make the smeltery, which is kind of cool. So we'll get into one or two of those. Possibly the survival is not tasty one, but honestly I don't like this mod out of the mod pack very much. I will probably only do it so that I can get one of the reward bags. So that'll be the plan. But yeah, point number 1 of the episode, make sure you know the difference between fusion and fission. Fusion fuses together, fission takes things apart. We do not have fusion reactors, but they would be much safer if stable than a fusion or than a fission reactor. Fission reactors tear stuff apart. That's what all of our nuclear reactors of today are like, and that is what that snotty little kid made, not a fusion reactor. Point number 2, point number 2. I want to make my own mod pack, including Gregtech, because the fusion reactor in Gregtech is absolutely amazing, and I have yet to be able to build one completely from scratch, not in creative mode. So I'd really like to go through and do that, build a whole automated system, and have a self-sustaining self-sustaining fusion reaction. So if anyone's interested in doing that, I am totally all for doing that. If I have any kind of interest in that at all from people that watch the videos, that I would definitely get into doing that. And also, if anyone has thoughts on cool mods to add to my growing list of mods that I'd like to make as kind of like a third-party pack at some point in time, if it ends up working out well, let me know. Next time, we'll probably do a couple of mod pack or a couple of quests, and I'm also going to look at getting a watering can so that we can start getting food a little bit faster, and maybe go ahead and get a pair of shears so that I can show you how easy it is to start making dirt blocks out of that. So that'll be the plan, and I'll maybe get a little bit of the monster pad built out to begin with before we actually get started in the next episode. So that'll be the plan, but thanks for watching, and leave a like or a comment or a subscribe if there's anything that you want me to talk about next time or anything that you want me to do. And yeah, let me know about the Gregtech mod pack, because I would be all for doing that.